más sabrosa. Es muy fácil de preparar. Solo agrega agua al tiempo y obtendrás tortillas con todo el sabor al maíz de tu tierra.
Performance. Any thoughts on that?
Yeah, very pleased, very pleased. Joe is absolutely coming along. You know, as I often mentioned, we have some kids coming through. They have talent. You know, they have some special parts in their game. You know, and Joe is a very smart player. You know, he can read the game really well, anticipate it well, and he sees through things. You know, as a midfielder, and so he's growing. You know, and with every game he's growing more and gets more confident. You know, in the senior team, same as with Mix Diskerud, same as with Brek Shea, and we talked often about that group that unfortunately didn't go to London. I think, you know, they're around here. Sean Johnson did a great game against Costa Rica, saved us there, and then came the goal when the ball hit the crossbar. And so we keep working with them, and I think Joe now is at a point where he understands what we ask. You know, he understands that the senior level is a different ball game. He understands that the tempo will only go faster, you know, moving forward, and overall he's doing really well.
Jurgen, you mentioned how kind of awkward and tricky this game was against El Salvador in this facility with a lot of Salvadoran fans in the building. How important was it for you guys to have that start that you did, to kind of just grab the game by the scruff of the neck and sort of really dictate how it was going to unfold?
I think it's important that kind of we send out the signals right in the beginning of these games, because to be honest, you know, the only team that can really lose is us. Because you guys, we all expect, the fans expect, you know, to move on and to win that game, and those teams are not easy to play at all. You know, they have their moments. They had their moments today. They could have hurt us right after halftime. You know, thankfully they didn't do that. And that's why you need to take it very seriously from the first moment on. And I think we try to keep the tempo high. It was a bit difficult because the field was already totally dry. It didn't really help us, but you got to go through it and you got to grind it. And they're doing that well. I think we're doing the grinding part better and better.
Yeah, Jurgen, I'm from a Norwegian radio station, so I obviously have two questions about Mix. First of all, he's playing a big role for you in this cup. And what kind of role do you see him play for your national team in the future? For example, if you reach the World Cup in Brazil. And second of all, not only on a national team, but on a club level as a player, how far do you think he can reach in the future?
I think it's similar to the talk we just had about Joe Corona or Brek Shea or Sean Johnson. He will grow with every game he plays. He will just mature. He gets more and more confident. You know, it's a different mix than half a year ago when we had him in the January camp. You know, it's all about adjusting and becoming more comfortable with the senior level. He has, like Joe, he has different qualities. He has different assets in his game. I think he's a brilliant passer. You know, he can switch sides really fast. He sees the deeper space in many moments, and he has a tremendous technique. So, you know, we're very, very happy with him in his development. You know, we're not talking about the World Cup here. We have a long way to go still. You know, it's another year. We need to qualify first of all, and also we want to win this competition. But I think it would help everyone involved here. You know, winning this trophy next Sunday in Chicago and Mix as well.
And on a club level, how far do you think you can reach?
A club level, I mean, I'm not here now to judge, you know, his club situation. We are thrilled that he's growing, getting better, challenging himself, and playing on a regular base. You know, he needs to play. He can't sit anywhere on a bench. That's the most important part, and as I hear from his club, he's doing that very well, and he's playing week in, week out. And that's what we need for Mix.
So we have limited time. We have two more results for opening. So, Mr. Klinsmann, if we can start with your opening remarks and then go to question and answers. Thank you, sir.
Well, we're obviously pleased with the result, with the things that work out, especially second half. We knew it's a very tricky opponent, and they proved that. They caused us a couple of issues, especially right after halftime. They had opportunities there to tie the game. Thankfully, they didn't. I think we missed a moment in the first half to kill it off with a third goal before they actually got their penalty when Joe Corona had that a nice opportunity. and so we had to hang on for a little bit longer. But then I think, you know, with Eddie Johnson's goal, the game was over pretty much, you know, and therefore we are pleased, you know, moving on, going to Dallas, and hoping for another big crowd in Dallas.
Sí, obviamente estamos bastante contentos con el resultado.
Dallas had some very good moments again today. Are we at a point where you're willing to say that he's doing some things that can help your World Cup qualifying team?
Well, no, I mean, for us, we take now one game at a time. You know, I think Landon again proved today how valuable he is and how he can make a difference. This game was also, for us, coaches, important to see, you know, who's a difference maker out there. You know, who, when maybe things go a little bit the wrong way, you know, take the game on their feet. And Landon was one of those players, so we are very pleased. Overall, we see that team kind of clicking more and more, connecting better and better. I think the last half an hour was definitely very enjoyable.
Coach talked in particular about the quality of the ball movement in midfield and the multiple ways you guys had to break them down today. Is that a compliment to, in particular, how far the style has developed under you?
Yeah, I mean, what we're trying to do, we're trying to catch up with the big teams in the world. And that's, if you kind of raise the bar, it's all about speed, you know. I'm not talking about physical speed, I'm talking about mental speed, passing speed, you know, about compactness, about going both ways, the same way, you know, with every 11 players involved, defensively, offensively, you know, and that's what we're working on. And I think that you see that players trying to really keep the tempo high, they're trying to move the ball around quickly, 1-2 touches, and hopefully creating then chances, which they did from early moment on. So this is a process, and I think that process is coming along with both groups, the group that was in there in May, June, and the group that is in now in July. And so we want to raise the bar, and once, I think, you know, you score a third goal, it should have come in already in the first half, but then second half we knew that, you know, we kind of are in control of the game.
Short corner more so today than others, and if so, why against El Salvador? The way they won it?
Well, we had that planned out to play constantly short corners because it pulls usually two guys out of the box, and the teams that we faced so far often were with 8-9, you know, defending in the box around the 6-yard box, not only in the, you know, the bigger one. So we almost made it mandatory today. And I think if the players really try to make their runs and coming from the 18-yard lines, not staying in there too early, then it will give you opportunities. And it worked out great, you know, with Eddie's goal. Yeah, I mean, this is something you need to do because good job.
Good job. Can you talk about the substitution itself, why you decided at that point to put Eddie in, and have you ever had a player score that quickly off a substitution?
No, that was pretty fast. No, I mean, we had, you know, obviously depending on how a game goes, you have already a couple of things in mind. If the game goes well, you know, you want to bring on this guy, you know, in order to give them minutes and an opportunity. But Eddie was planning to come in at a certain point because we want to get them back connected with this group, you know, as quickly as possible. I think Wondo deserved absolutely to start the game based on what he did the last couple of games, and that worked out really well, you know. And yeah, I think that was probably the fastest goal I had, you know, from the substitution coming in.
14 seconds.
14 seconds.
Pablo.